But perhaps Parchman's greatest contribution to society was cultural. It is a musical tradition known throughout the world as the Delta Blues. It was born in the area that surrounds Parchman Farm.
The legend of Parchman Farm, above all, comes from the blues musicians of the Yazoo Delta, many of whom served time up here.
Their music was inspired by the chants inmates sang while they worked the long line on the prison plantation. But scholars have linked these to the traditional work songs of the slaves who worked those fields more than 100 years before. Among the most celebrated of the Delta bluesmen to do time at Parchman was Booker T. Washington White, better known as Booker White. White recorded for the Victor label between 1930 and 1937, cutting blues and religious music. It was during this period he was sent to Parchman Farm for shooting a man. At Parchman, White escaped much of the heavy field work by performing for the inmates and trustees. Before White was released in 1939, he even taught the camp sergeant's son to play guitar. After his release, White's music had spread to the juke joints and dance halls of Mississippi, and his enduring classic, Parchman Farm Blues, has been performed by countless recording artists, including Eric Clapton and the Grateful Dead.
Listen, you men, I don't mean no harm. Oh, listen, you men, I don't mean no harm. If you wanna do good, you put up Delphi, Parchman Farm.
Parchman has also incarcerated other legends like McKinley Muddy Waters Morganfield, Eddie Sunhouse, and Hootie Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly, who also served time at the prison farm in Louisiana. For modern audiences, Leadbelly's best-known song is probably Midnight Special.
Most people who danced in the 1950s and 60s to the song The Midnight Special didn't have a clue where this came from. The Midnight Special was a train that left Jackson, meandered through little towns of the Mississippi Delta, picking up the wives of convicts on visiting day here. It arrived here right around dawn, and as it came up the tracks from the south, the light would shine on Camp 1, a black camp. And legend came to hold that if the light from that train struck you, your woman was on board with a pardon in her hand. Now, just remember the song, Let the Midnight Special Shine its light on me.
John told me to roll, I know what do you know? Well, I know about Ava and the dress she wore, umbrella on the shoulder, piece of paper in her hand. Well, I'm going at the governor, he's gonna lose the mom, man, let the midnight special shine your light on me. Let the midnight special shine heaven light on me.
The musical tradition at Parchman has a curious footnote. In 1938, the prison welcomed an out-of-work carpenter and drifter from the town of Tupelo. He had been sentenced to 3 years for changing a check he received from $4 to $40. He left at home a 3-year-old son who would grow up to be the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley.
Let the midnight